For 3 years, I didn't really live my own life because my mother-in-law controlled every single corner of it. What I cooked, what I wore, how I cleaned my own home, even how I cut my hair. And my husband, he didn't just agree with her. He smiled, nodded, and chose her every single time I thought it would get better. It didn't. Until the day I finally did something about it. Her name was Clara, and Clara was the kind of woman who was never wrong. Not sometimes, not occasionally, never. No one argued with her anymore, not even her own husband. He had learned years ago that it was easier to nod quietly, keep his head down, and make sure his shirts were ironed and his dinner was on the table. Everything else was Clara's business. And when my husband Anthony and I got married, Clara made our life her business too. She lived 20 minutes away, but it felt like she lived inside our walls. Every phone call with Anthony ended the same way. Yes, Mom. Of course, Mom. Whatever you say, Mom. At first, I tried to stand my ground. I really did. The first time she came over after our wedding, she walked through our apartment like a health inspector, slowly, deliberately, looking at everything. She stopped at the kitchen sink. "Why is there a cup sitting in the sink unwashed?" she asked. "I just put it there," I said. "I'll wash it in a minute." She looked at me like I had said something offensive. "Dishes are washed immediately," she said. "Not later. Not in a minute. Immediately. Remember that." Then she moved to the living room. She stared at the chair covers I had chosen. The ones I had carefully picked out. The ones that matched our apartment perfectly. "What are these?" she asked. "Chair covers," I said. She shook her head slowly. "These look like floor rags." I felt my face go red. Those covers were expensive. They were tasteful. They fit the room beautifully. But before I could say a word, Anthony walked in. "Yeah," he said, glancing at me. "I told her to get the striped ones. But no, she wanted neutral tones." He said it like he was on her side, because he was. That evening, after she left, Anthony sat me down. "Ali," he said seriously, "my mother has lived a long life. She has more experience than you, more wisdom. Please just listen to her. Don't argue." I looked at him. "Okay," I said quietly. And that was the moment I made my first mistake, because from that day on, I stayed quiet. Every visit, Clara found something new to criticise. My cooking wasn't right. My cleaning wasn't thorough. My work schedule was strange and suspicious. One day she looked at my freshly cut hair and clicked her tongue. "What have you done to yourself?" she said. "You look like a boy. This doesn't suit you at all." Anthony looked up from his phone. "I told her not to cut it," he said. Clara sighed dramatically. "Well, hair grows back. Until then, she just looks like she belongs on a street corner." I said nothing. I just sat there and felt something inside me slowly dying. She questioned my job too. I had a flexible position. Sometimes I worked from home, sometimes from the office. "What kind of job lets you do whatever you want?" Clara asked one day. "What exactly did you do to deserve that kind of treatment? Is something going on with your boss?" "My boss is a woman," I said, keeping my voice steady. "Doesn't matter," Anthony cut in. "If you worked from home full time, dinner would be ready when I get back. Instead, I have to wait half an hour while you drive back from the office." Clara nodded firmly. "A husband comes first. Always." "I can't always work from home," I said. "Then find a different job," they both said at the same time. I was the only one in our family who drove, so Clara used that too. She called me to pick up her niece from the airport. She called me to drive her aunt to a doctor's appointment. She called me to run errands across the city. And no matter what I did, it was never good enough. One time, I was 15 minutes late to the airport. There had been an accident on the highway. Traffic was completely stopped. That evening, Clara called me. "You made my niece wait 15 minutes, alone, in a strange city." She was terrified. Her niece was 30 years old. When I pulled up to the airport, she was leaning against a pillar, laughing and flirting with the taxi drivers. She didn't look terrified, but that didn't matter to Clara. To Clara, I was always wrong. Then came New Year's. Clara's birthday was January 1st. We had already bought her a generous gift for the holidays, but she hinted, loudly, that what she really wanted for her birthday was a new television. "Your father watches football all day," she told Anthony during one visit, dabbing at her eyes. "I can't even watch my shows. It's not right." That evening, Anthony came home and told me, not asked, told me, "I'm buying Mom a TV for her birthday." I took a slow breath. "Maybe we could choose something a little smaller," I suggested carefully. "We already spent a lot at Christmas." He frowned at me. "My mother is one person. I won't be cheap with her." I swallowed everything I wanted to say, but something was shifting inside me. The next day at work, a co-worker was talking about the gifts he had bought his wife and daughters for the holidays. I listened as he described a necklace his wife had been admiring for months, things his daughters had been asking for. "What about your parents?" I asked. He smiled. "Oh, I got them something small and thoughtful. They told me not to spend too much. They said, now that I have my own family, I should focus on them first." I sat very still. His own family. Not his mother. His family. That night, I made a decision. The next evening, Anthony came home and went straight to the box where we kept our savings. He opened it and froze. It was empty. He stood there staring at it, pale, turning it over in his hands, like he was missing something obvious. "Were we robbed?" he said slowly. He looked at the door. The locks were fine. Nothing was out of place. I walked in behind him and dropped 2 shopping bags on the couch. He turned around. "Ali, the money is gone." "I know," I said calmly. I took it. I reached into the first bag and pulled out new chair covers. Beautiful ones. The kind I actually liked. "I replaced the ones Clara called rags," I said. Then I reached into the second bag and pulled out a dress. Long, elegant, the kind I hadn't let myself buy in years. I held it up. Anthony stared at me. "What about the TV?" he said quietly. "That was your idea," I said. "And your mother's, not mine." "But Mom..." "Anthony," I set the dress down. "Your mother has been living inside our marriage for 3 years. She criticises everything I do. She controls how we spend our money. She sends me on errands like I'm her personal driver." I looked at him steadily. I am your family now, not her. You can go back to her if you want, right now, if you want. He was quiet for a long moment. I don't want to go back to her, he said. But we promised her. We promised nothing, I said. She demanded, and we gave in. She raised you. She fed you. She worked for you. I know. I paused. But she didn't do any of that for me. And I'm the one you married. Anthony looked at me. For the first time in 3 years, he actually looked at me. Not through me, not past me, toward whatever his mother wanted. At me. Show me the covers, he said finally. And put on the dress. I want to see it. Clara was furious when she found out there would be no television. She called. She guilt-tripped. She reminded Anthony of everything she had ever sacrificed. But for the first time, he didn't fold. She had to buy the television herself. And little by little, slowly, over the months that followed, Clara's grip on our life loosened. It didn't happen overnight. These things never do. But it happened. And for the first time since our wedding day, I felt like I was finally living in my own home. If this story felt familiar, drop your age and where you're watching from in the comments. You might be surprised how many people out there know exactly how this feels. See you in the next one.